as someone with chronic illness, I think a lot of people don't understand the spoon theory because it doesn't have a real world application and it's really hard to visualize, at least for me. So I like to explain it using money, and let me explain. If you've never been here before, I'm Kirsten. I have fibromyalgia and POTS, so my energy is quite limited. So on a day-to-day basis, let's imagine that everybody wakes up with money in their bank account, and every day you have to pay money out of that bank account to exist. So, for example, a normal person wakes up with $500, and getting ready for the day takes $25, and then going to work takes $150, and then going to the gym takes $100. And so by the end of the day, they're left with maybe $50 to $100 of their energy. However, that energy rolls over into the next day because that money doesn't leave your account. It's still there. So the next day, you wake up with $600. Now let's say you have the flu, so you might only wake up with $200 because you're sick, you don't feel good, you're not gonna wanna do things. So you take it easy. And then the next day you wake up back with your $500. You could apply this to not getting enough rest, maybe your kid was sick, so you're dealing with that, so on and so forth. So your energy levels of money might fluctuate. However, generally speaking, you're waking up with $500 and you're able to roll that over into the next day. However, for a chronic illness person, we wake up with less because we wake up feeling like we have the flu every day, right? Obviously, we don't exactly feel like we have the flu, but it's the same concept in terms of energy levels. So someone with chronic illness might only wake up with $250 to $300 in their account, which is significantly less than the healthy person's $500. So not only do you wake up with less energy, everything also costs more. For a healthy person, getting ready isn't really exertion. Getting ready for your day, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, that's not exhausting. For someone with chronic illness, it is. So for a normal person, it costs $25. For a chronic illness person, that costs $50. So for example, I have POTS, so for me, the morning is usually the hardest and getting ready is so difficult. Getting ready literally is exhausting for me because my heart rate is at like 140, 150. The whole time I'm getting ready, I'm nauseous, I'm lightheaded, I just don't feel good, and it really sucks. So it takes about $50 out of my account. Going to work takes $150. So let's say I had $200, I'm out of money for the day. That means I can't do anything when I get off of work. I'm done. Let's say I woke up on a good day and I have $300. So I need to use that extra $100 to catch up on everything I've not been able to do, such as chores, or I need to take a shower. That costs $50, whereas a normal person, it costs $25 because showering is a huge trigger of my POTS. Now let's apply that to a chronically ill person being told to push themselves. Yes, a lot of chronically ill people can push themselves. However, there are implications to pushing yourself, just like there are implications to using too much money in your account. So let's say a chronically ill person pushes themselves to go out with friends. For a normal person, that costs $25. For a chronically ill person, that costs $50. Let's say you don't have $50 in your account and you use it. You know what happens when you use money that's not in your bank account? You get an overdraft fee, which is exactly what happens with our energy. So now, this person only used $25. We used $50 plus the overdraft fee, which equals $75. So now we owe the bank $75. So when we wake up the next morning, that's taken off of our energy balance. So let's say we woke up with $300, now we only have $225 just because we pushed ourselves yesterday. So we have less energy to do what we need to do. And a lot of times, if you keep pushing yourself, you're going to continue to be negative. And eventually, you're going to dig yourself into a hole you can't get out of, which is what a lot of us might call a flare, usually a bad flare, where you have to preserve every ounce of energy and you can't do anything because you have no money. And you've maxed out how negative you can be because again, most banks do cap out how negative you can be. So once you reach that, you're screwed. So that's why a lot of chronically ill people don't push themselves unless it's an actual emergency because it's really easy to get in that negative balance hole. So I hope that explains it a little better. In my brain, that makes more sense. So I hope this brings some enlightenment to people who may not understand chronic illness or people who want a different way to explain it to friends and family because I feel like the spoon theory is kind of confusing. It doesn't really have real life examples, whereas the money is a lot easier to visualize because you're used to it.